Could the Miami Heat reunite with the former big man before the trade deadline? We'll find out on this episode of the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel. Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel. My name is Amir, and before I get into the video, I just want to thank everybody for their continued support of my channel. It really means a lot to me. So if you could please subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that. So thank you again for watching. So the NBA trade deadline is almost here. We're only a few days away, and the Miami Heat right now are still struggling, and they have dropped to the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference race, and that's not good. We were the 3 seed at one point, and the Heat thought they were going to be one of the top 4 teams to get home court advantage throughout the playoffs, and right now we are in the play-in game at this point again, and that's not going to be suitable for this team. I don't know if they're poised to make another Cinderella run this season like they did last year and get to the finals and deal with this much adversity like they did last year. So one of the holes that the Miami Heat need to plug is a power forward, and we are undersized and we're getting crushed on the rebounds, and we don't have the height and we don't have the three-point shooting next to Bam Adebayo that we need. And so there's a former player that was a good player that was playing next to Bam Adebayo for a couple seasons, and that player is Kelly Olynk. So Kelly O has been on a few teams since he was with the Miami Heat, Detroit Pistons, now Utah Jazz, and he is potentially available and on the trade block and possibly a buyout candidate if he does not get traded right now. So he is 32 years old, making $12 million this season on an expiring contract. He hasn't been playing a ton of minutes. Looks like he's playing 20 minutes per game, averaging like 8 points, 5 rebounds, but he is shooting 42.7% from 3, which is really, really good, and something the Miami Heat definitely can use, especially next to Bam Adebayo, because we know that it has been relatively successful in the past. So Kelly Olynk is someone that can spread the floor for us, someone who's 7 feet, so not the greatest, strongest rebounder, but someone who's capable of crashing the boards for us, someone who's going to provide length against bigger players. Right now we're using Haywood Highsmith and Caleb Martin, who are both around 6'5", max, for 210 pounds, and so they are getting punished by taller, stronger, and bigger, lengthy players. For example, KP Porzingis, just destroyed us when Haywood Highsmith was guarding him throughout the game off of switches when we played against the Celtics most recently and got crushed. And so it's been tough being undersized. There's other teams that are successful that are playing small ball, like the Clippers, who beat the Heat recently, and they're playing undersized basketball, but they have stars and talented scorers. And the Miami Heat right now, our role players have been inconsistent. Our stars are up and down as well. Obviously they're more consistent than our role players, but we need to make a shakeup to this roster. We traded for Terry Rozier a few weeks ago, and I think we need to continue to add more pieces to this team if we want to make a playoff run and actually be a 6th seed and avoid the play-in, which I think we desperately need to do this season. So yeah, Kelly, again, former lottery pick, played with the Heat from 2017 to 2021, played admirably with the Heat, and was on the team during the bubble and went to the championship with us, even though we ultimately didn't succeed. And he's basically going to be out of the Jazz rotation moving forward. So what can we do to trade for him? We need $12 million. That's Caleb Martin, who's an expiring contract at 7. Then we need to throw in a couple other pieces to make the money match. So like a Thomas Bryant and maybe one more piece like a Haywood Highsmith. I don't think we want to get rid of Caleb and Haywood, so it would have to be like a Jay Rich or maybe one of our two-way players, or actually it would have to be a standard contract player, so like a Drew Smith. But either way, we can make it work. Is it worth it trading Caleb for Kelly? Maybe not. I think Caleb might be slightly better in general overall, but in terms of fit and what we need on this roster, and the fact that we're probably going to lose Caleb next season anyway, I think we got to try anything we can right now, just because this team is struggling mightily. And yeah, I don't know. I can go either way. I do like Caleb Martin a lot, and he's playing pretty well, but he's been injured and a little inconsistent here. So I think we need the size more importantly. Something else that's intriguing that we could possibly think of too as well would be adding Jordan Clarkson. Because again, we need someone who's capable of creating their own shot and scoring in bunches and getting really hot consistently. And that player could be Jordan Clarkson. Right now, he is averaging almost 18 points, 3.5 rebounds, 5 assists, which is a career high. And his 3-point percentage is way down right now. He's averaging 29%, but he's averaging how many attempts? About 6 attempts per game. So he is a streaky shooter, but overall, even without that, he's still getting to the line 4 times, which is more than Tyler Herro, and he is able to get his mid-range shot whenever he wants. So that could be an interesting also add right there, is getting Kelly O and him. So in terms of the salaries, Jordan Clarkson has an interesting contract. He signed a 4-year, $51 million contract. Right now, this season he's making 23, but then it drops to 14 each season until the 2025-2026 season. So we would need 35 million in order to acquire both Kelly O and Jordan, which I think is a lot, and I don't think that's realistic. But hypothetically, we could trade Tyler and Caleb for those two. I don't know if a lot of Heat fans would like that, like on paper, obviously, but that could be a shakeup that we could do if we desperately need to make a move. I don't think we desperately need to make that move. Honestly, I wouldn't want to give up Tyler for that. But honestly, Tyler is becoming more of like a sixth man type of player. He's not elevating yet into that Devin Booker type player. He's not a superstar like Devin Booker. He hasn't elevated that fast yet. He is improving, but he also is regressing a little bit from the beginning of the season. So he's a little inconsistent, and he seems more like a Lou Williams type player, Jamal Crawford, Jordan Clarkson, sixth man, Manu Ginobili type of player. He hasn't been an all-star yet. Like, he's in his 5th season. Like, come on now. Like, if he was going to be an all-star, it would be happening by now, most likely, for the most part. There's not so many late bloomers that get better in their 7th, 8th, 9th season. And if they do, they're not perennial all-stars, obviously. Dwayne Wade won a championship in his 3rd season. You know, in his 2nd year, he ascended to new heights. 3rd year, won a championship with Shaquille O'Neal. Okay? So he was a star who became an all-star and a superstar and a perennial superstar. So not saying I want to do that trade. Honestly, I would rather just do the Kelly O side, because I still believe in Tyler Herro, and I like Tyler Herro, but he's not fitting well right now on this roster. Like, we're not going to give up Bam. We're not going to give up Jimmy, obviously. He's the odd man out always. I'm sorry, Heat Nation. All the Heat lovers are going to roast me in the comments. That's totally fine. But I'm not saying we could do this trade specifically where we get Clarkson and Kelly O, because I know we would have to give up a Tyler Herro. If we don't, we can give up a Duncan Robinson, a Caleb Martin, and another piece, and giving up those 3 players for those 2 might be too much. And I don't think I would want to mess with the depth. So would I do the Kelly O trade? I think so, honestly, at this point, just because I know we're going to lose Caleb Martin. If we can't get anything better for Caleb Martin, then I would go this route. Otherwise, I would try to explore other players like a PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, a Bruce Brown, anybody, honestly, over Kelly O, honestly. But let's see. Let's see if it is a possibility, and I think we need to shake up this roster. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Kelly O would be a welcome fit on this Miami Heat team? Do you think he can help us move up the rankings and possibly avoid the play-in? What do you think about the Jordan Clarkson thing? I'm not too keen on that idea, but it could be something we could do, honestly, to help our offense, which we desperately need help on. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks, guys.